We're at the public participation section of our agenda. During this time, the board does not answer questions or engage in debate. No member of the public may comment about a matter that is not within the purview of the county commissioners. The commissioners are not expected to comment on matters brought to the board during this time. Each speaker shall only speak once and shall be recognized by the president. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to address the board? Mr. Hicks? In accordance with the rules of the board, your comments will be limited to 5 minutes.
Thank you, Commissioner Humphrey. I am Chris Hicks from 444 Woodward Court, Cincinnati, Ohio, 45255. There are 4 matters that I wish to present to the commissioners and to the audience here and ask for there to be action as quickly as possible. First relates to Mr. Uible. Mr. Uible has been implicated in a 5th-degree felony election fraud charge associated with his petitions. I've just found out through my attorney that Prosecutor Vince Ferris has announced that he's begun an investigation into this election fraud. At this time, I think for sake of healing and moving our county forward, it's appropriate for Mr. Uible to resign. I know there are other people, including elected officials, that are privately calling for that resignation, and I think the time is now. Second thing I want to hit on is nepotism within our government that's covered by the statute of limitations. Now that we have progress on some important things relating to moving our county forward, I think it's essential that we deal with the next issues that I think are going to come forward relating to nepotism within the government that's still covered under the statute of limitations. I believe the commissioners know that to which I am referring, and I think it's something that we need to get action on. What I would propose is that there should be a review up and down our government in the county to assure that ethics laws are being complied with when it comes to nepotism and other matters of conflict of interest. Final point that I want to hit on is the CVB. On February 14th, I came here to discuss your legal options to get public transparency relating to what happened at the CVB during 5 years where $3.5 million of our money, taxpayer money, was spent improperly with Chairman Uible, Commissioner Uible, Party Chairman Uible, Commissioner Uible, Linda Fraley, Chuck Tilbury, and other members of our government, all improperly serving on the CVB as determined by our Secretary of State, Mike DeWine.
Hold on just a second. Can I ask you a question? And it won't.
Does it go against my time?
It won't. No.
All right.
No. I'll give you the time. You'd said $3.5 million was spent improperly. Do you mean that the money was actually spent improperly, or do you just mean people served on the board improperly?
Until such time, it's been, Commissioner Painter, I appreciate the question. Given that it's been 9 months that this has been going on at this point, due to the level of secrecy around these records and the continued attempts and the continued wasting of taxpayer money to prevent us, the citizens, from being able to see what happened during that time period, at this point, I'm going to assume it was improperly spent. I'm going to put the obligation on.
That's a
I'm going to put the obligation.
That's a long assumption.
I'm going to put the, well, it's been 9 months. I'm going to put the obligation on you.
Okay.
You and you. Okay. I'm going to put the obligation on you to prove to us by opening those books and showing us the records that it was not improperly spent. I cannot understand.
Don't let me get you off too far on your.
I cannot understand why there is so much resistance and so much willingness to waste taxpayer money to try to hide from the taxpayers what happened during a 5-year period where we're told in the press by our auditor that nothing bad happened. But that same auditor will not call for opening those books. So let me finish my remarks. I appreciate the question. So I appreciate also Mr. Uible updated me because I can't figure out from the Convention and Visitors Bureau site who's actually on the board right now, is that you guys have control over 5 appointments. 5 appointments. Right now, those appointments are filled by Jeffrey Sperry, Greg Holman, Mark Simon, Nick Baker, and to me, inexplicably, Chuck Tilbury, who is already subject of an Attorney General's opinion and is the campaign treasurer for Linda Fraley. Okay? It's inexplicable that this goes on. And also that the board is headed by now Jim Comedecca, a known business associate of Mr. Uible. What I call for immediately is that you guys use your power and do the same exact thing, Mr. Humphrey and Mr. Uible, that you did on August 20th, 2012, and replace those 5 members unless and until they vote to open the books to the citizens so we can know what happened to our money. It's our money. You took control of it. We know you used it for a couple of crony contracts for Chris Smith and Jim Comedecca. in there, and we want to see the rest of it. And the time has come to make that move. You guys could make that move anytime you want. You did it. Mr. Humphrey, you participated in doing it on August 20th, 2012. On August 22nd, 2012, the CVB met with the new board members and fired the staff and fired the leadership, except for 1 or 2 people. Okay? Do it again. What do you have to hide? What do you have to hide? There's a 5-year period, $3.5 million. It's our money. And I came politely to talk about this on February 14th, which people can check in the video of the meeting then, and no action has taken place. How much more damage do you guys want to let happen to our county while you refuse to act? I cannot believe that you appointed, these people were all appointed between September and February of this year. I can't believe, except for Mr. Tilbury, which I can't believe is still on the CVB board, but I can't believe that you appointed people to the board knowing what's going on without obligating those people to citizen transparency. It's absurd. So those are my remarks. You need to take action now. I'd also encourage, again, to find on one concluding point, Mr. Uible, it's time to resign from the party leadership and as commissioner so that we can begin a healing process in our county. Let's get rid of all the contention so that we can save money for the taxpayers. That's a decision on you. You've never come to this podium and talked and addressed the people. Now, why don't you come to this podium and address the people in a resignation so that we can start moving on in this county and move our county to a better place that I think we all want if we care about the people of Clermont County. Thank you very much, Commissioners, for the time, and thank you for the questions, Commissioner Painter.
Thanks for your comments. Anyone else?
Commissioner Humphrey, a clarification. Attorney Mike DeWine is our Attorney General, not our Secretary of State. All the money that goes to the Convention and Visitors Bureau tax is a transient tax. It's not a tax on our taxpayers here in Clermont County. Unless you're renting hotel rooms in the county, in most cases it's from people that are probably 100 miles and further away that pay that tax. It's not a tax on the county citizenry itself. So it's a transient tax.